Alrighty, part 2 on bench 2. Let's see what we can see on the inside. We want to go there first. At least I do. You may be curious. What have I got? What have I got? There it is. I was thinking if the bridge pickup is a 4-wire, split it would, no it's not. In a split mode, that big bridge would balance better with the middle pickup. Let's see, they're both 47s. Yeah, they're both 47 chiclets. The cavity is quite clean, amazingly. And they sprayed poly all in there, and there's not as much fray anywhere. Not even a lot of sawdust underneath the screws. Woohoo! Look at that. Oh yeah, and we have one of these special stock with the on the back, which does nothing but, you know, whatever. So the soldering job is works, but it's meh. I can do better, and I will do better. So not a splittable bridge. Saw something interesting on Fulton Street Beats a website channel where he bought some Chinese made strings that have colored ball ends like the Darios. So we all may be being fooled when we see guitars come in that have colored ball ends and think they're the Darios. They may not be. They may not be. Okay. Really long ground wire and a white one. Usually that one's black. No matter. And there we have the, oh, can you see it? The internals on both sides. There you go. Clean. No buffing compound. It's interesting. This back area here, now that I have it down in this light, the buffing will be better when I'm done with it. I can see all of the strokes here from their big buffing wheel right across. Better here, but not so good there and down here and there. Yeah, I'll fix all that. I'm sure my compound will get all that out. And we'll make that a glassy black. So now that I've opened this up and I see what I see, they're likely all 500K pots. They're not marked on this side. I'm hoping and I think this is deep enough for a standard wafer switch, because it is a little bit deeper, the routing here inside. A tad. They did a little bit of a better job. It's really close to the top, but they made it a little bit deeper, so I think a standard wafer will fit here no problem. I've got quite a bit of room. Yeah, about 3/8 of an inch there. Easy peasy, I think. The only shielded wire in here are the pickup wires, so they've just used standard single core interconnecting wiring, unlike Harley Benton's are using shielded interconnecting wires on some guitars. Fireflies are using shielding interconnecting wires now. Okay. The pondering begins as to what this may become. And while the pondering is going on, I believe I will disconnect the neck, demount the tuners, and take care of all of the fretwork that needs to be done here. Once I get that off, I'm going to look under the pickups. These are really rigid in place. So I think they've got a huge block of foam underneath those to keep them fairly rigid like that. Normally they wobble a lot on other guitars. I'm going to look at possible replacement for the bridge. If I decide to really go high up on modifications to this thing, I might put a nice Wilkinson bridge on this one, like I did on one of my other Harley Benton Strats. They come with really nice stainless steel saddles and a huge steel block in the back. There may need to be fixing of the holes in that particular case because I did have to do that on the last one. But yeah, made it work. This is a screw-in whammy. And of course string trees and the like will all have to be done as per usual. So, got to get all that off and see what's under the neck. And I just wanted to mention that this cheaper ammoon, they got a lot of sawdust there, came with the plastic plate, which is better than some of the more expensive Harley Bentons I've bought that didn't come with that plate. Now these holes likely will need to be drilled out. Yeah, they are biting in the body. The screws were not exactly all tight. Yeah, this looks kind of like a basswood body. It's coarse grain, dark color. A dark color a little bit like a mahogany, but I'm sure it's not a mahogany. And it's at least a two-piece because I can see a join right here in the corner. That's been routed out. The routing pocket is nice and flat. It's not dirty at all. Back of the neck has those little pips on it. Yeah, I'm going to flatten those off. Oop, sawdust there. Oh, coming out of the holes. That means that they drilled it and screwed it right in with the sawdust in the holes, which is what this shows you, and what it showed me underneath the plate in the back is that that's what they did with those ones. Not as good as they did with the covers. Well, all right, let's just kind of move the body up there a little bit. This nut looks about the width of a standard fender. All right, I have to clean up, and I'll probably I'll move all this to the other bench, disassemble, and get going on the work for this neck. Okay, we've done the first compound on the body of this ammoon. Try to get some of the factory swirls out of it. Looks like we did that. It's looking It's looking pretty good on the back. Hopefully the front will come up the same, and then of course there'll still be the polish to go on top of that, because that'll make it squeaky clean, and then polish will make it glassy clean. All right, I think that's good enough for the first pass on the front. I made 2 passes on the back, 1 pass on the front. I wonder if that's still a little bit squishy. Yeah. Since this doesn't have a pick guard, you know, you want it to be nice all along there. Yeah, that's better. Well, something stuck on there. It might have just been compound. All right, gonna let that sit overnight. Just cleaned like that, and we'll do some polish on it tomorrow. Okay, update on the ammoon. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. Got the pots, 2 volumes, and a tone coming in on this one. So the circuit is going to be simple. This is going to be changed. I'm not going to put this in. I thought I was going to put in a Gilmore switch here by pulling on it, but don't really need it. So it's going to be bridge volume, neck middle volume, output jack, the new switch, and we're going to keep the original pot for the tone, and just have to interconnect the wiring, and that's as simple as that. Now what that will allow you to do is to, when you're in position 2 and position 4, well actually in position 2, when you get the bridge and the middles together, what will happen is you'll be able to blend between the two. Be able to bring the volumes up and down over here on the middle. And then when you go to middle position, well, it'll just be the middle and only this pot will work. And then when you go to the neck, again, it'll just be that only this pot will work, but the tone will work for all of the outputs. So not too complicated at all. I've just put my copper tape across the bottom so that when I mount the pots, they're going to be ground plane, so I'm not going to need these interconnecting grounds here. I left that on just in case I need to run that someplace, and I'm not sure at this point I really do, and if I don't, I'm just going to snip that off. So I left them on both here because they were interconnecting before, and I don't like all the extra wires in there, so if I don't need them, I'm going to just cut them off. And there's my tone pot. I've changed that to a 33 mic capacitor, and that's going to be just fine. Just fine indeed. And what we're going to do is put the star washer on the back, and this is the spot for the tone control. And then that needs, of course, a flat and a nut. By the way, I have compounded this body and waxed it, and it is as beautiful in black as the blue ammoon was in blue, with except for the fingerprints that I'm getting on it now as I'm working. But I mean, it is like absolutely fantastic shiny, glossy. Whew, beautiful. So once I start putting all the stuff in here, I'm going to minimize the wires. I think they're all long enough to reach where they're supposed to go now. This is the bridge volume. That one goes in next. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the inside there for now. Let me just pick this up and give you a look. A little bit of spider web everywhere here, so start with that, and then we're gonna, you know, put some of it together, and I'll get back to you. I've got something more to show.